Gleaming keeps you calm when all around is chaos. Order is the ticket to get you safely home. Tidiness is paramount for seeing off your stress, while lawlessness and liberty will get you in a mess. Oh! Hello? Who's a calling at this forsaken hour? Oh! You!
What? 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 Morning, Mama.
Oh, good morning.
What's for breakfast?
It's up to you today, dear. I'm off to take some jam to Mrs. Fillionk.
Make sure you taste it in front of her. She's a bit suspicious.
Well, after all that business rebuilding her house, she's bound to be a little out of sorts.
I don't know why you bother. Mrs. Fillionk is anything but nice to you.
You used to say that about me.
I always find there's more to people than meets the eye. Even Mrs. Fillionk.
But what about my breakfast?
I know what you can eat.
Oh, thanks, little Mai.
Hey!
Huh?
What am I? Your servant?
You're savage.
Oh. Hello? Mrs. Fillionk? I brought you a rebuilt housewarming gift. Some homemade jam. It's quite edible, see? Oh, strike me pink. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, silly me. Oh, Mrs. Fillionk, I'm so dreadfully sorry.
It's no use apologising to her now, is it? Not now you've done away with her.
I've done away with her?
Yeah, and I've caught you red-handed.
Red-handed? Oh, no, I don't know anything about any doing away with, officer. But I confess I have made a bad situation rather worse.
I confess.
No, but I...
Come on, you better come along with me.
Oh, dear.
I've got a nice cold cell waiting you back at my chair.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, what have I done?
This is grave. Very grave indeed.
Do you have to keep using that word, Papa?
Well, we must face this crisis head-on, son. Get to grips with
The
it.
victim's neck? That's already been done, pal.
It would seem we have two pressing matters to discuss. First and foremost, we've run out of coffee.
Why am I here?
And two, Moomin Mama has been arrested on suspicion of murder.
This is terrible.
I share your anguish, son. You can't have breakfast without coffee. Someone must get some as a matter of utmost urgency.
What about Mama?
No, she can't get any. She's in jail, remember? Do pay attention.
No, I mean, how are we going to prove her innocence?
Exactly. There's absolutely no way Moomin Mama is guilty.
You never know. It's always the quiet ones.
It can't be Mama. I know everything about her.
Then there's nothing for it. Coffee or not, I shall leave no stone unturned until I have identified the true culprit and cleared Moomin Mama's good name. I shall retire to my study and scrutinize the evidence.
What What's he doing in there?
Why don't you go and find out?
Okay. Just wondered how the investigation was coming along.
What? Oh, yes, very good. I'm at the bit where the great detective summons everyone back to the scene of the crime to reveal the culprit. You can't rush a good book.
But I suppose it's all I deserve.
Psst! Mama!
Moomin Troll?
I've come to break you out of jail!
Oh, how thoughtful of you, dear. Oh, but I wouldn't want to get the officer into trouble. He's rather sweet once you get to know him.
Lock 'em all up, I say. And throw away the key.
But we need you! I need you!
Well, I suppose a little midnight stroll wouldn't do any harm.
Great! You stay right where you are, and I'll put Operation Free Moomin Mama into immediate effect. I'm going to scale the wall of the prison, tie a rope around the bars of the cell window, then command a powerful beast to yank them out. As soon as the dust is settled, you need to climb through, then we can use the aforementioned useful beast to ride away on.
No need for all that, my sweet.
How did you...
Oh, this isn't my first jailbreak.
Oh, right, of course. Wait, what?
Shall we?
Yeah. Papa's on the case, by the way. He seems very confident he'll have this all cleared up by the morning.
I'm sure he will, dear.
You see, Moomin Troll's odd little friend.
Snip!
As you wish, a great detective must look deeply into the souls of his suspects. Only then will he discern the truth. First, we must determine who has a motive.
A what?
A motive. Why someone, or some two, would want to do away with Mrs. Filionk in the first place is beyond me. I mean, who was Mrs. Filionk ever upset?
Lying around all day thinking. Why don't you do something for once? And you there! You can't camp here. This is private property. While you little hooligans, go and play round your own way. Put that down! Cover yourself up. How dare you call me that?
So it seems everyone in the valley has a motive.
She was never the warmest, old Filionk.
She certainly isn't now.
Why is that funny?
Oh, keep up. We have a case to solve.
Oh, all right. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. What? She's more cunning than she looks, that one. Well, two can play at that game.
Okay, so here's the plan. You cover our tracks, while I put the finishing touches to this nice, sturdy... shelter.
Oh, what was that, dear?
I said I'd just cover our tracks so no one can follow us.
Oh, what a splendid idea. Then we'll be able to spend some time together, just you and me. Seems being a fugitive on the run from the law has a real upside. Who'd have thought?
Yes, but we won't be able to hold out like this for long.
Oh, I don't know. We should be okay for a few years.
A few years?
Yes, my love. Could you pass me the pepper, dear? It's in my handbag.
Did you...
Besides, I'm sure your father will get to the bottom of it all soon. And no doubt he'll be having just as much fun interrogating suspects as we are camping out.
Oh. Yeah.
What was I doing last night? The night Mrs. Filionk was done away with. I was doing my hair, of course.
Guilty?
Not guilty.
Yes, not guilty.
did I do away with Mrs. Filion? Are we not, in this very discourse, committing a crime of premeditated murder, annihilating precious seconds from our lives, suffocating shallow breaths, never to be regained?
No. Muskrat would never debase his mind with such trifles as murder.
So, guilty.
Okay, I heard you. If I did it, don't you think I'd boast about it?
She would.
So, guilty?
Oh.
Last night, while I was asleep,
I was eating a biscuit.
Get back! Get back, I say! This is Moomin Papa's camera. Stay away from me! Help! Help! I win! Let's play again.
There are no winners when there's a murderer at large. It would seem that our investigation has come to an end.
I always thought Moomin Mama did it.
That's not what I meant. Moomin Mama is the very model of tolerance.
You're right there, pal. How else would she put up with you?
No. Moomin Troll's odd but strangely entertaining friend. By the process of elimination, I now know only too well who the culprit is. And I can't believe I didn't see it sooner.
You really do know a thing or two about this camping lark, don't you?
Oh, your father and I used to go camping all the time when we were younger. Some skills you never forget. Did I ever tell you about the time I got lost at sea?
With Papa?
Oh, no. It was just before I met him.
I never knew there was a time before Papa.
Hands up, everyone!
Oh!
Gotcha!
Oh, boy, are we glad to see you.
He's been accusing the whole valley of murder.
Make yourself at home, why don't you?
Thanks.
Hey!
Oh, isn't this nice? You must be having such fun.
Yeah, well, you know, a fugitive like me has to do what he can to survive in the wild.
Wow. What's a fugitive?
Well,
I bring word from Moomin Papa. He says you're all off the hook, and so am I, and he solved the case. Oh, but not the coffee bit.
Woo! Thank goodness
Good
for
old
that.
Moomin Papa.
I knew he'd crack it. I suppose that means we can go home now, dear.
yeah.
Oh no! Moomin Papa says he's waiting for you all in the cave on the beach.
Yep, thanks to me, you are exonerated.
But if it wasn't me, then who was it, dear?
Me.
You?
Yes. Well, I ruled out everyone else with my detecting skills, so there's no other explanation. It must be me, even if I don't technically recall committing the act in question.
I'm sure you know what you're doing, dear, but I am a little surprised.
Well, it turns out you can never really know someone. Least of all yourself. But you mustn't worry. I've got it all planned out. We're going to sail off together in the adventure here and start a new life as desperados. Desperate times call for desperate measures, my friends. But rather than look upon this as a hardship, we should see it as an opportunity, a chance to reinvent ourselves as a band of dangerous though lovable outlaws, living life on the edge, thriving on the cut and thrust of high seas adventure. And yes, it's true, we may lose a compadre or two along the way, but it's nothing we can't handle. Why? With this head start and fair wind, we'll soon be smelling the coffee beans of a thrilling new life.
Not on my watch, you ain't. Moomin Mama, I am arresting you again for the willful and callous doing away with of Mrs. Filionk.
But officer, the evidence has been sifted, the subterfuge unravelled, and the culprit identified.
What?
It was me!
Oh, I see. Partners in crime, eh? Fair enough. I'll just have to bang up the both of you. And no funny business.
They're not clowns.
Mama! Papa!
It's all right, darling. At least I'll have some company this time.
Oh, my beloved parents. Jailed for murder, and me, their one and only son, left all alone to fend for himself in the big, cruel world.
We're still here.
Yeah. How long are you going to play the poor little orphan for?
Forever. Probably.
Oh, can I have your dad's armchair? Ow! What?
Oh, Mama, I can't bear to see you and Papa living like this.
I know what you mean, son. I forgot my footstool. Perhaps you could bring it next time you visit.
What am I going to do without you both?
Folk are often more capable than they think, especially Moomins.
Like you with your survival skills. You certainly took me by surprise in the woods with that amazing shelter you built. And the fire.
And I know you'll surprise yourself too soon. And most likely everyone else in the valley.
What are we looking for again? Food?
No. Clues. Papa isn't the only great Moomin detective. Aha! Footprints. And lots of them. Come on. This is a very sticky situation. Sweet smelling. And tasty.
Ew.
It's jam, Sniff.
Oh, so you were looking for food?
Very interesting. But that doesn't fit the frame. Sniff.
Yeah?
Come and put your paw on this print.
Okay. Don't see what good it'll do you, though. Well. Look at that. What a coincidence. Everything okay? Look.
Yes, Sniff. Everything's quite clear. I'll get the police, you stay here. So, you're probably wondering why I asked you all here this evening.
No, not really. You just told us when you came to get us.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, there's more to this case than meets the eye.
Bravo, son. If that isn't the lead into the denouement, I don't know what is.
The thing is, you can think you really know someone, know everything about them. Then they go right ahead and surprise you. Like Mrs. Fillionk. We all had her pinned down as our strict, bossy neighbour. But what we didn't know, or take the time to find out, was that she was also a devoted aunt. Mrs. Fillionk's scream that night wasn't a scream of horror. It was a scream of delight. Her three nieces had taken their beloved aunt totally by surprise when they dropped by unexpectedly.
Oh, very good, son. Well deduced.
Isn't that wonderful?
Top notch.
Whoa. Wait a sec. That don't explain her disappearance, though, does it?
Or why her usually pristine house is in such a pickle.
Aha! Then allow me to enlighten you.
Oh, my heart! What a surprise! What a treat! We must shop at once.
Unaware she was going to have 3 very special guests to stay, Mrs. Fillionk set off immediately to find some food, and in her hurry, neglected to properly fasten her front door.
Ah! And her unsecured home was ransacked by marauding woodland animals.
No.
What?
Just the one.
There was a storm coming. You try sleeping in a tree. It's not very easy, even in good weather.
Perhaps you'd like to tell us more, Sniff.
I just wanted a bit of cover. I was scared. Whoa! And, well, it was dark. And I didn't see the silly old bucket, or the lamp, or the sideboard, or the silly old picture frame.
Vandals! Home wreckers! What have you done to my beautiful home? Police! Police!
Mum?
Oh, that was fast.
My dear Mrs. Fillyonk, I'm so relieved to see you alive and well.
What? Of course I'm alive and well. Never felt better. Out of the way, man. I've been with my nieces. In you come, quickly. Say hello, say hello.
Ah, trio parfait. Pleased to meet you. I'm so glad I didn't murder your aunt.
Yes. Well, I think the least we can all do now is help Mrs. Fillyonk tidy up.
Oh, no, you don't. You've done quite enough for one day, and besides, you won't do it correctly. Get out! Be gone!
Yes,
away
of course.
with your shoes!
So sorry.
Okay.
All right, very well, Mum, very well.
Shoo. Filthy interlopers. Oh, thank goodness they're gone.
I say. Now you're alive and well, I don't suppose I could trouble you for a drop of coffee, could I?
Out!
She dusted my snuffer.
Even so, I must say Mrs. Fillyonk is much friendlier than I ever thought.
Get off my lawn!
Now, my super smart sleuth, what shall we ponder on the way home?
You could finish your story about getting washed out to sea when you were younger.
Oh, yes. Well, there was quite a squall building that night.